right, so I want to talk to you a little bit about my career as a software developer and how I came to be a software developer. First, if you haven't already subscribed to Coding Things IRL, make sure you do and make sure you leave a like on this video. I'll start this story when I was 24. I wasn't going anywhere and I was actually getting into some pretty bad stuff, so I needed a change in my life. My father, who is a software engineer, suggested to me to try software engineering. And he told me to check out W3 Schools and look at HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I learned HTML pretty quickly, and CSS followed. But JavaScript was the bane of my existence for several months, and I ended up actually quitting several times. But every time I would quit, I would go back to the same dark place, and that would push me to try again. It's like I was at the bottom and there was no way to go but up. So eventually I started to understand a little bit about JavaScript, and actually my first program that I wrote was a series of chains in jQuery because I didn't understand what loops were. But it worked for the first run, and then it would just stop working because the chain of callbacks would end, and I was very proud of it. Fast forward, I had been learning JavaScript and HTML for about a year when I got my first job. I was looking for jobs profusely in the time that I was learning, just because I was trying to be optimistic and move things along. I ended up getting several callbacks, but mostly from agencies, which I knew I didn't want to go with, even that early in my career. And then I ended up getting a call, actually a response from a Craigslist ad that was for a company that was making websites. And I didn't have any experience. I made in PHP a Christmas counter that would count down the days till Christmas. Got that ready, and I was ready to show it on my laptop. But during the interview, they didn't ask to see any work. The guy that responded to the ad had me sit in front of his computer and look at the current problem that he was dealing with, which ended up being a MySQL syntax error, and I was able to fix it right then and there, which was surprising to me because I had never looked at that much code at once. It was shocking, but I did it, and the guy said, "Okay, you got the job," and I got the job. I was a PHP web developer making $30,000 a year. That's it. And I want to quickly make the point that if you're first starting out and you can do this, take a low pay. Take a low pay, because it will open yourself up to so much more opportunity. And I just recommend, I was single at the time. I didn't have any family. Well, I had a girlfriend at the time. I didn't have any family. I didn't have a lot to spend money on, so I didn't need a lot of money. After 6 months, I got my first raise, so it was going very well. They bumped me from $30,000 to $35,000. And I was elated because it meant that the hard work, the suffering that I put into this was finally paying off again. And it would pay off again and again and again. I would continue to get raises each year. And one year I decided to look for new opportunities. I was offered another position for a leasing company as a software engineer for $10,000 more than I was making. My intention was to go to this company and work there. But when I took it to my current employer, who I had been working with for about 4 years at this point, they said, "No, we'll give you $5,000 more." Think about that for a second. I increased my income by $15,000 in 1 year. From there, the growth would continue. I received another raise the following year, and it was up to $65,000. Then I decided to look for more opportunity again. So let me go back to the beginning to tell you about this next part. When I first started at that company, I also was interviewing with other companies at the time. I'm always searching for new opportunity, always trying to broaden my horizons, especially now that I have children and a family, and I need to constantly worry about, when they're older, paying for all the things that they're going to need. So I was interviewing with another company, and I consistently failed every time I interviewed with them. I interviewed with them 3 different times in the span of 6 years. On the third time, on the 6th year, I got a second interview and I got the job. That was a very eye-opening moment for me, because imagine failing getting a job for 6 years and then succeeding on the 6th year. Just goes to show you that success is forever and failure is fleeting. Fast forward to today, I'm still at that job. I love my job. I actually get to work from the shed that you see right in front of you, and it's just incredible. I'm able to do my work. I'm able to do side work. I'm able to raise my family. All this life that I made for myself just by learning to program. And if you're thinking about getting into programming, I highly recommend it. Don't believe the hype. The job is not going away. I'm working more than I ever have, and I love it. Copilot and AI has made my job so much more enjoyable. What I say is it takes the bad parts out of coding for me. If you're thinking about getting into coding, please do. I highly recommend it. It's very lucrative. But think about the long game. Think about trying something for 6 years and failing and then succeeding on the 6th year. It's not something that I could have previously imagined before it happened, but it happened. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you did, if you liked this video, please like the video and subscribe to Coding Things IRL. All right.